What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in, guys, to the Jacksonville Jaguars 2026 schedule preview and record predictions. Rick Stambro, Kenton Heidemann, Greg Andrews also in the building for you guys. This is going to be a fun one. A lot of different people thinking this is a playoff team, thinking this is far short of a playoff team. Some people saying they're going to the AFC Championship. Some people think Trevor Lawrence is good. Some think he sucks. So this is going to be a fun show here. But my man, you got an article for the people on sportsforummedia.com. So super quick 20-second recap on the end of 2025 and 2025 as a whole. Any offseason moves they made. What stands out to you there?
I mean, last season they had a great regular season. Then they got into the playoffs, lost to the Bills. Disappointing end for, a team that a lot of people were excited about. Here's the thing about it. There were some questions in terms of their schedule strength, and now there's even more questions going into this season considering what has happened in the offseason, primarily the loss of Travis Etienne Jr. That is a huge weapon that they had last season that now they don't have anymore. So there's a lot of questions on if Trevor Lawrence is going to be forced to adjust in any way with that loss, if the offense is going to be able to perform the way they did. Really, overall, I'm excited. I think that this team has the potential to be good, but there is also just a lot of questions.
Absolutely a lot of questions, and a lot of people not believing in this running back room. But I did read your article, obviously, and I thought the Chris Rodriguez thing you pointed out was very fair. I liked Chris Rodriguez last year, ending in Washington at the Commanders. Shocked they let him go, to be honest with you, with their running back room, but that's another story for another day. And here we are. So Chris Rodriguez Jr., you mentioned, big play kind of guy, and I do agree with you there on the big play ability. So, hey, we'll see what happens, guys. But the big man circled, obviously, Trevor Lawrence here. I got a quick question for you, gentlemen, before we get into the final start of this schedule, and then we're going to start running through this thing. Is Trevor Lawrence a top 12 quarterback in the NFL? Greg, coming to you first, my man.
It's going to depend. Because there's no more Travis Etienne Jr., how is he going to play? It's exactly like Kenton said. What kind of quarterback are we going to see? We're going to see dual threat, which he kind of had that last year, 359 yards, 9 TDs on the ground, which is massive. Is he going to have more of that role? See those yards go up, touchdowns go up in the running category, because he did have 29 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions. I'm going to say he's going to have to do more on the passing game now. Let's see those yards go up. Let's see those TDs go up, interceptions go down. If we see that, he's going to be the man, top 10, 100%. But let's just see how it goes. Let's pump the brakes a little, not put our foot on the gas like, yeah, top 10. Let's wait.
I would say that he definitely has the potential to be a top 12 QB. I would say 12, 13 is about where I would put him. Again, I've said it many times before. I'll say it again. Trevor Lawrence has been held back in the past by this Jaguars team. I don't feel like he's had as many weapons as he should have, which is why I think the Travis Etienne loss is especially big. With that wide receiver room, there's a lot of question marks with that. I mean, we got Travis Hunter in that room, but he was injured last year, so we didn't really get to see him break out in any special way. He started to get some more receptions right before he got injured, but that's just a big question mark. We don't know how he's going to perform. And Brian Thomas Jr., solid wide receiver, but nothing really exceptional about it. So I think if Trevor Lawrence can find a way to really utilize those pieces well, or even get some better weapons in the future, he can definitely break into the top 10.
All right. Fair enough here, gentlemen. I agree with both of you, but I think I'm just slightly more on him than you. I do believe he is a top 12 quarterback very confidently, honestly, and I do think pretty confidently he's a top 10 quarterback. If we made our lists right now, I don't think he falls out of my top 10. I put him over a guy like, I don't know, who's a guy everybody likes that's not good? Caleb Williams is one of those quarterbacks I would remove to put in Trevor Lawrence. I just like him better. Maybe the Dak conversation's up for debate there, but I'd rather have him at quarterback than Dak all day long. So I don't know. I think he's pretty easily top 10. I think top 8 would be the real debate for me is like, can he squeak in there at the top of that? But anyway, moving on through, guys, we got the schedule predictions here for you. It's going to be a interesting season here for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but lucky for them, it starts off with a pretty easy one. Browns at the Jags. We can zoom through this one, fellas. Anybody got a crazy upset here, or is this a Jacksonville easy opening game dub? We good?
Win.
All right, there you go. Then, Ken, your boys are up to bat, man. Jaguars at the Denver Broncos. This is a massive game that later in the year could have implications. So Jags at Denver, September 20th, 4:05 p.m. in that little afternoon window, which, by the way, is the best time to go to a game in Denver, Colorado, if you are going to go to one. But that said, Ken, let's come to you first, my man. You even got the orange on. You couldn't get away from it. Jags at Broncos. Who wins this one?
I'm going to say that the Broncos are going to win this one. This is a Jacksonville loss. Last year, we saw this matchup. We saw the Jacksonville play in Denver. I was actually at that game live. I got to say, I was extraordinarily frustrated. I felt like there were some, not to get into the whole ref conversation, but there were a lot of calls that I disagreed with. And plus, I also just felt like the team did not play up to standard in a lot of ways. I feel like they didn't get the best version of the Broncos in that game. I think we were a better team than the Jaguars last year, but being the better team doesn't necessarily mean you win. But here we are, beginning of the season, week 2. Everybody's going to be healthy. The addition of Jalen Waddle is going to be a huge boost to the Denver passing game. And when it comes to the Jaguars defense, that's really where they're lacking, is their DBs. And I talked about that a little bit in my article as well. So I think that is something that Denver is going to take advantage of, not to mention the incredible Denver defense. You can talk about how they're missing John Franklin Myers, but, from my point of view, they're missing one defensive star out of their several. Sure. I still think they're going to be a great defense.
Okay. Well. You said the best team doesn't always win, and I have to just keep going back to that Bills game, but it's okay. Here we are. I'm still coping with that one, Kenton. I'm sorry. It's going to be a long year for me until
Broncos deserve that win. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway, we would have actually had a good Super Bowl, folks, if they wouldn't have got that one wrong. But it's okay. Anyway, Greg, coming to you, my man. At Denver,
I agree with
Denver.
Kenton's right. I just think with the defensive changes, you're missing Devin Lloyd, 81 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 5 interceptions last year. Cornerbacks. You got a guy, you brought him in. Yes, you got Dane Jackson, but unproven. Defense, I think, is going to take a pretty big step back. I mean, that's a big hole to fill in Devin Lloyd. I just think Bo Nix, yes, the ankle was a pretty nasty injury, but he's going to come back hungry. He's got Jalen Waddle as a new wide receiver who's going to be really hungry because he's like, man, thank God I'm not in Miami anymore. I'm in Denver. I'm going to be on a winning team with a proven quarterback. Just hope that ankle's going to hold up. I'm telling you, man, the Denver defense, I think, is going to be better than people think. I think the offense has already been proven. It's going to be Jacksonville taking a step back. They'll compete, but I just think that bad defense from Jacksonville is not going to be able to compete with the high-powered offense of Denver. Pretty simple. Denver wins. I don't even think it's going to be close.
Wow, not even going to be close. Okay.
Jacksonville's been very inconsistent over the last 5 seasons. Horrible season, good season, horrible season, good season, mediocre season, bad season, great season.
Look, I'm not going to get into a huge debate in this one. I got the Jags walking in here and pulling off this upset this early in the year. I don't love it. I think it's a really good game, Ken. I swear to God, this is nothing personal. For some reason, people are making Denver out to be a little better than they are. You just use the word consistency, and I love Bo Nix. I'm a huge Bo Nix guy, but let's just call it what it is. He's not the most consistent guy in the world game to game. And I do think a lot of that's the play calling, but until it's figured out and it's like fully well-oiled working, I'm not going to sit here and act like every game Denver is that team. Now, they do have the defense to punish Trevor Lawrence and win it that way, and I'm right there with you, and that could be a problem if Trevor is who people think he is, and he's not the top 10 quarterback that I think he is. It's going to be a long game. But I think he can show up. I think the run game's getting underestimated. I think the receiving core and tight end core in Jacksonville is underrated continuously. And the story of the offseason is ETN. And like he's a good back, bro, but let's not sit here and act like he was anything. He ain't the hottest guy in the world. He wasn't top 5 last year. He's arguably not top 10 in the running back department. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's the biggest thing ever. So I think it's just more of an overhyped Denver team, an underrated Jags team clash. I think it comes down to it, but I'm going to go Jacksonville for an early upset here early in the year. But there you go. These guys on Denver. I'm on Jacksonville. 2-0 for me, 1-1 for them. Then here we go. Patriots at the Jaguars. Things don't get any easier other than you're playing at home here, September 27th. Kenton, let's go to you first, my man. Patriots come to town. Which quarterback gets it done?
I think this game is less about the quarterbacks and, again, more about the weapons. Patriots, I think that they were a good team last year. I think they've gotten better in this offseason with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs at wide receiver. Those are 2 huge additions for the Patriots. And as I said, I think that the Jaguars are going to struggle in the pass defense, definitely more so than the run defense. They haven't had any big losses when it comes to their defensive line. So, I mean, I think they're going to continue to do well at stopping the run, but they need help in the DBs. And with the Patriots having those huge additions, they are a scary team for Jacksonville. So that's how I see it going. I think the Patriots are going to get a victory here.
All right. Greg, another loss for Jacksonville? Is that where we're going?
I'm actually going to say that Jacksonville's going to win this one. I just have the feeling, I mean, you made a lot of sense, Kenton, but I just think that, Super Bowl runner-up from last season, Drake May is going to be like, all right, I got to come into the season and deliver. I got to be the leader that I showed last year. We got better weapons. Our defense got better. Across the board, they have improved, period. But I think Jacksonville will learn from their previous week loss against Denver. The coaching will fix some of the issues that they saw. The defense will tighten up. The offense will start to get a little more clicking because they are in Jacksonville. And I just see QB battle. Yes, 100%. I agree with Riggs. I do think it's going to be a battle of the quarterbacks, but it's going to really come down to, I think, one player, and I think he's going to show up, and I think it's going to be Hunter. They're going to have him on both sides of the ball, and it's going to really come down to how is he going to play offensively, and if he's clicking on one side or the other, they're going to keep him on that side for the game. Better receiver, keep him out there, keep the ball rolling, keep throwing to him. If it's on defense, you're going to go there, let him keep shutting down the New England Patriots. I got Jacksonville winning.
Another game I don't think is that close, to be honest with you. Give me Jacksonville pretty easily in this one. I don't think the Patriots are who they were last year. I don't think that cute little run they went on was great and all, but they got exposed in the Super Bowl. Now the Seahawks, to be fair, were the best team in football, and the right team won, and it didn't really matter. But the Bills would have fought harder. So it is what it is. I got to get off it.
And I will say, if Bo Nix wasn't injured, Broncos would have been in the Super Bowl. So, I mean.
And they would have lost. It wouldn't have mattered. But I'm right there with you. It would have been a better game here. Look, at the end of the day, the Patriots, they're a good football team. It's on the road. It's a weird game for them. I like this one to go Jacksonville's way. I know I'm a little bold here to be 3-0, but it feels right to me. I think once you get through Denver, that's the big one here in the first 3. And I think that them being at home, they're just better than New England are right now. So, hey, we'll see what happens, but we're jumping on through, guys. We got the Jaguars at the Bengals here, October 4th, 1 p.m. game. A question mark, Joe Burrow and the Bengals team. A lot of people, obviously we're one day into training camp. We got people out here being like, oh, healthy Joe Burrow. The Bengals are going to win the AFC North and watch out for them as the AFC Championship. Here we are again. Same shit, different year. I'm so tired of it as a Steelers guy, but whatever. It's like, whatever, bro. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and the Ravens
don't count out Joe Flacco
right?
either, man. Come on. They still got Flacco.
Yeah, well, between that and the fact that people think the Ravens are going to sweep the division every year is just the other most comical thing in the world to me. But it's okay. Here we go. At Cincinnati, Greg, coming to you first, my man.
I'm going to make it really quick.
Get it done.
I'm going to make it quick. Jacksonville's going to get this one. I like you said, I think the Bengals are overrated. Yeah, okay, Jamar Chase. Yeah, T. Higgins. I get Joe Burrow, but I just Jacksonville's better. Just that's all I'm going to say. I don't need to say anything more than that. Jacksonville. Come on, let's be real.
I don't know about that. I mean, I was on the Bengals show, and I did say in that show I gave the Bengals more wins than they'll probably get, and that's really again based on the assumption that Joe Burrow stays healthy. I'm gonna make my schedule predictions assuming that they're healthy, and you can say that the Bengals are overrated. They definitely are in a lot of ways, but I think we have seen the fact that that team is so different when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are on the field together. That it is a very different team. Without them, they can't keep up because that defense really is just not impressive whatsoever. But this is the game where I really see it being QB versus QB, and I think when we're looking at QB compared to QB on these two teams, Joe Burrow is better. And that's where I see it going. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to have a good game on this one. I think it's going to be back and forth. It definitely can be close, but I'm taking the Bengals.
All right. Well. I guess I'm with Greg. I'm not going to go on a rant here. I don't think that the Bengals are that good of a football team. Look, they are better than people might want to give them credit for at times when it comes to like defensively and whatever. Are they the worst team? Are they the worst defensive team in football? No, but they're bottom 10 and they're pretty consistently bottom 10. And after our Bengals show, Ken, I don't know if you saw the comments, but between all the different social platforms, we had a lot of comments saying, these fucking guys don't pay attention to how many great defensive moves they've made and how great the defense is now and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, if you go from being the second worst defense to the sixth worst defense, you still suck. And I understand that some people, you know what I mean? Like, I understand that some people are like, oh, like the defense. It's just like, bro, if anything, if we saw someone who was like, it's a much improved defense, bro, they lost their best player.
Yeah. Where?
Like, what are we talking about?
Improved. I went into depth in my article. It's not much improved at all.
They made some moves, but they lost the one guy who was really good. And so for me, I just don't know here. I think Trevor Lawrence has a big day through the air. You brought up number 12 there, Greg. I love my boy Travis Hunter. I think he makes a huge difference on both sides of the ball. We'll see how they use him this year. Will it be more receiver? Will it be more on defense? We'll see what happens. But I think at this point he's just more conditioned and in better shape. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he's starting to look like a man and not a boy no more. So I'm liking that Travis Hunter look. But anyway, all that said, it's going to be a good game. Ken, I'm never going to write Joe Burrow off in Cincinnati and Evan McPherson. Like, they can go on a drive. They can hit from 60 yards to win it. They're never out. But I just think Jacksonville here. Cam Little is the hero there from give me a 58-yarder in Cincinnati for the win. It's going to come down to it. But a 3-point game goes Jacksonville's way. We're moving through, guys. We got, dude, by the way, this schedule is insane, by the way. The deeper we get, I'm like, oh my God. Eagles.
These next two games are
Jaguars.
just crazy what they're making them do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This one is the road game here, 9:30 a.m. October 11th, Eagles, Jags. And like Greg just said, you look at the next game there, another one, 9:30 a.m. coming up right after that. But if you guys don't pay attention, the Jacksonville Jaguars are like the most popular overseas team because they were kind of the team that kicked that whole thing off. They were kind of the team that kept getting sent over there, and people over there were grasping on to the Jags when they would come to town. So they're kind of more popular overseas right now than some of the other teams, and they've played very well when they go overseas. Don't get it twisted. They've won more than they've lost as well, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, Eagles, Jags, Ken, my man, who gets this one done?
I mean, I talked about this in the Eagles show. I think that the Eagles DBs are incredible. I think that they're going to have a great game in this one. I think that this is just a very tall task for Jacksonville. I really don't see it going Jacksonville's way. I think that there definitely is the potential for them to do well. But really, again, all I'm thinking about are those Eagles DBs. I think that they're going to shut down Trevor Lawrence's passing game in this one.
Greg?
I like the way you're thinking, man. those DBs are really talented, but because they're playing in London, I don't think they're going to play that great. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be showing up and he's going to pick them apart because they know what to expect. They've traveled overseas so many times. And like Riggs said, they've won more than they have lost. They know what to expect. How many times, let me ask you, how many times has Trevor Lawrence played overseas compared to most of the Eagles starters?
Definitely a lot
Not nearly
more.
as much, right? So that quarterback knows what he's getting himself into. The coaching staff knows what they're getting into. Majority of the guys on this roster will know what to expect with the leadership from Trevor Lawrence. I think it's going to be the Trevor Lawrence show. I think Philadelphia is going to come in. That lag from, oh my God, the plane flight and the time change, all of that, you're going to see it. We've seen it time and time again. A lot of these teams that have not gone overseas and played a lot, we know what happens. I'm going to say, unfortunately, yes, I know the defense for the Eagles is very, very strong. But again, I just think playing overseas, one team has been there a lot, the other hasn't. I got Jacksonville, but in the squeaker, I'm going to have them winning by about a field goal on this one.
All right. Okay, I don't have them losing yet, so I better wake up here soon. I'm gonna go with a loss here in this one. I actually really like the Jags when they go on these overseas games, but I think they're going to struggle with the tush push. I don't really think their defense is going to be great at getting off the field in this game. I think it's going to be kind of one of those run it up their throat hard. You got a scary tight end game. You got the deep ball threat still there in Philly. And we've seen a lot of weird things happen in these overseas games as well. I don't know. I think it's going to be tight. Just being frank, this might be a lot more of me just needing to find a loss on this schedule because I've given them a couple toss-ups. So this is just another one of those toss-ups, but I'm going to go loss here for the Jags. Then Texans-Jags. This is where it gets interesting and very, very scary. Yes. So some would argue, oh, man, but they get a huge advantage because they're already over there and they don't have to travel that week and they get to just have a good week in vacation. And one, are they focused? Two, are they tired of being there? Do they miss their families? Do they want to just come home? There's a lot of other factors that aren't an advantage by being stuck over somewhere for 2+ weeks at this point. So you got that already. I mean, that's what? October 11th, they probably go, 4 days, 5 days before that, maybe more. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But Texans, Jags, going to be a good one here. I'm sadly going to go with another loss. I got to be wrong. There's no way they go 0-2 on the road, but I got to get my second loss on my record schedule. I just have to. So I'm going to go a loss here just because of that Texans defense. But I won't be surprised at all if this turns into a shootout. I'll take Trevor Lawrence 10 out of 10 times before I want CJ Stroud. So that said, Kenton, where are you going?
This is actually the one that I think they will win overseas. I'm not going to have Trevor Lawrence going 0-2 internationally. As much as really, my loss last week was more about the fact that I just think the Eagles are the better team. But this is really going to be a big game for the Jaguars. I have them not winning a lot of games up to this point. They've coming off of a loss in a London game. I think they're going to go into this game wanting to get a win before heading back home. And not to mention they're going against a division rival. So that's going to just feed that fire even more. I think that the Jaguars and the Texans are the two best teams in this division. And I think this is where the Jaguars get their win over the Texans.
Greg?
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with Riggs in this. I hate to say that in these back-to-back overseas games, win the first. I think they're going to lose the second, but I don't think it's because, they want to get home and see their families, all that stuff. It's not the mental, loss that they're going to be dealing with, not the psychological effect of oh man, all of a sudden it's just the wheels are going to fall off. I just think you're going up against the best defense in the entire NFL. I think it's going to really come down to, and you have said this before, Riggs, on so many shows, you do not trust CJ Stroud as far as you can throw him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I feel like you said, because it is an AFC South matchup, I think it's going to come down to a great Houston defense shutting down Trevor Lawrence That D-line getting after him, putting the pressure on, not allowing the run game to step up. They're the best defense in the league, and I do think CJ Stroud doesn't have a great game, but he has a good enough game where he gets his shit together and is able to lead his team to victory. I think this is going to be a flip-flop from last season where Jacksonville won the first matchup, lost the second. I think they're actually going to lose this first one just because the defense is just going to be fresh, ready to go. I'm getting Jacksonville with a loss.
Okay. There you go, guys. Going to be very, very interesting toss-ups here overseas, but we'll see what happens. Gentlemen, right now, how many losses are you at? I know I am at 2 losses. Kent, where do you stand?
I'm at 4.
Okay. Greg?
I believe I was at 2, right?
You're at 2 or 3. I think you might be at 3.
I think I'm at 3.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're kind of split over the board here. This is going to be fun then, because it's getting even better here. You got Colts at the Jags, the other big question mark here. If they do lose to the Texans after their 2-week road trip, lucky they got that little bit of a bye there, about 12 days, but then they're right back into it here against another division opponent, and you can't lose this one if you do lose that Texans one. Colts at the Jags, 1 p.m. November 1st. Greg, let's go to you first, my man. Do you think the Colts find a way here?
It's going to be about Daniel Jones. Jacksonville's offense, I was saying this before we got on here and started doing this, guys, that the Colts' offense is better overall stat-wise if you look at last season compared to, beside points per game, compared to the stat lines overall for the offense for the Jaguars. I'm not going to say it's a push. They are better. If you look at the stat lines, defense is really where it's going to come down to it. And then again, when you look at the defenses, they're pretty much there. But where I think this is not even, but one's a little bit better than the other in certain categories. It's kind of a push, but I think it's going to come down to special teams. And Indianapolis has a better kicker than Jacksonville. Indy's kicker was 2nd in the league last year at field goals. Jacksonville's was 13th. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think that Indy's actually going to win this one because their special teams is going to put it together and get the field goal game going early and often. They're going to capitalize when it matters. I'm going to take Indy in this. I can't believe it.
Well, first of all, I got to stop you for 2 seconds. The better kicker and special teams, in my opinion, 100% goes to Jacksonville in this game. I know stats are stats, but I will never take Blake Group over Cam Little. They're that's just not going to happen. I think that Blake Group's a decent kicker, but I don't think he's top. You just said he's number 2 or some shit. He ain't top 10. I don't know. I don't know who's making these stat lines, but no. So anyway. I just want to correct you there, not even correct you, but just debate you there. I do like the Jags special teams better. And I guess while I'm here, I got the Jags winning this game. It's going to look a lot like this photo right here. I think the Colts just can't keep up with them. Trevor Lawrence going to do a lot of running in this game, going to do a lot of big deep ball passes in this game. I think the tight ends across the middle in this game are going to be a huge threat. People want to continue to make this Colts defense out to be better than they are. And I don't really know why, but I feel like every freaking week is them giving up somewhere between 24 and 34. And I'm tired of hearing about how good their defense is. It's like watching the Bengals' little brother. I mean, they're right there. I don't think they're very good. And I think Trevor Lawrence has his way here, especially coming off a bye week. Give me Trevor Lawrence and the Jags once again. Going to look like this. Hey, for all you people that like your prop bets, take a Trevor Lawrence rushing touchdown in this one, huh? It's coming. Ken, what do you got?
I think that the week 7 bye week before this game is going to be huge. I think it's going to be so important. Obviously, I have them at more losses at this point than you guys do. But those first 6 weeks for this team are honestly crazy. They're going against some insanely good teams to start off. They have 2 straight international games. It's a very tough first 6 weeks. And I think this week 7 bye week is really going to be a huge chance for them to buckle in practice, get some rest as well, get adjusted, really address those problems. And then they're going to come in to week 8, a whole new team. And I think we're going to see a huge turnaround, and it's going to start at home against the Colts here. I think that it's just going to be an incredible performance overall. That's what I'm expecting from the Jags here. Not to mention, I am higher on the Colts than some other people, but I don't think there's any denying that a lot of their offense revolves around Jonathan Taylor. So if we have the Jaguars, who were among the best teams, I think they were like number 1 against the run last year. We have a team like Jacksonville going against a team that so heavily relies on their running back. I definitely see it going in favor of the Jags.
I mean, hey, just circle it, 'cause when they play the Steelers, Lord knows JT ain't getting more than 50 yards. So we know he can be contained, and we know what happens when he gets contained. They lose. It's pretty simple. Like, and we've been saying it on all these shows, like, if the guy doesn't have 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, Colts lose. People are like, well, but he can. Yeah, he can. 4 or 5 times a year, he's going just straight up just win him the game. He is. Fair enough. But other than that, there's just not a lot here. So, and by the way, I still can't get over the fact that no one wants to talk about the fact that the Steelers stole their best wide receiver in Michael Pittman Jr., which is just comical to me that everyone's like not worried about the offense at all. Oh, if Daniel Jones is out there, who the hell is he throwing to? Who's out there? Who's unguardable in that receiver core? Nobody, bro. Every dude there could be one-on-one, man coverage. Thanks for playing. We'll see you next week type shit. So anyway, we're moving on through here.
So by the way, I did get my stats wrong. You are right. The better kicker is Cam Little. I was wrong. You were right. But
For the brand,
you got 2
baby.
kickers that kick 60-plus yarders. But I still think it's going to come down to group just all of a sudden pulling one right out of his rear end, and he's going to have the ball last. It's going to be close.
Fair. I was going to say, guys.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I think I was probably
don't play
looking
with
at
me on
extra
my
points.
kickers, folks. Yeah, don't play with me on my kickers. All y'all be making money
68-yarder for
on
Little, dude. 68-yarder.
Hey, but I don't even care about the 68-yard. He's just a better kicker.
He's an impressive
Overall.
kicker. I love Cam Little. He's a very, very impressive
He's
kicker.
fun to watch. Funny last name for a dude hitting 68-yard bombs.
Yeah, dude,
but,
right?
You know, it is what it is. But anyway, another super tough game here on the road in prime time in Baltimore, November 5th, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Jags at the Baltimore Ravens. Kenton, you're talking about how tough this schedule has been up to this point, my man. You got another one here. Do they get it done on the road?
I don't think they get it done on the road here. And I also believe that the Ravens are a great team in primetime. I think that they have just those advantages on top of the fact that the Ravens are always a very impressive team. That offense is incredible with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I think that this is going to be just an incredible offensive performance from the Ravens. And that's how I see it going down.
Greg.
All right, I agree. You know, I think it's really going to come down to health. Lamar Jackson has had issues, and they all usually start right around this time in the season. How healthy is Lamar Jackson really? What are we going to really see from an aging Derrick Henry, who is still a beast by no means? I'm not going to say he can't have a tremendous game and just start using the truck stick and running over guys at 32 years old. I mean, he's a big body. But the thing I have to say is these next 3 games, I think, define their season. All on the road, starting with Baltimore. I think Trevor Lawrence, being the veteran leader that he is, and you guys are high on Trevor Lawrence, especially you, Riggs, I think this is where he gets his shit really together, and they did exactly what they did last season, and they go on a hell of a run. Finish the season with 8 consecutive wins. And I think this is the game he says to everybody, we got to get our shit together. Let's start playing like we are a great team. We did it last year. We made the playoffs, 3rd in the AFC. Let's try to do it again, but let's not be 3rd. Let's try to do the best we can and kick the rest of these guys' asses because they do have a little bit of a lull in and out of the season for the New York, Tennessee games, Tennessee, New York, Tennessee again, little bit of a lull to get them really pushed up. I think this is where Trevor Lawrence put that leadership out there, and they're on the road. Got to define the season. They get a win.
It's just hard for me to agree with that when Lamar Jackson is 20-6 in primetime. I don't know.
He also gets hurt mid-season like every year.
Primetime, you know.
Do you trust his ankles? Do you trust his shoulders? Do you trust his hips?
Yeah, I'll say so. In the season,
or his turf toe. There's always some bullshit that happens to this guy.
All right. Look,
I think that's going to be a huge factor.
I hate to say it. Gentlemen, I hate to say it. It is a debatable game 100%. And as
Absolutely.
a Steelers fan, it makes me sick. But Baltimore are going to win this football game here in this one. I believe the Ravens, first of all, at home are going to get this one done. Jacksonville, man, it's been tough. It's been a tough road. It's been a lot of ups and downs, like Kenton said early in the year. It's been 2 road games. You come home, yeah, you get your bye week. But keep in mind, you get your bye week, but you come home to another tough game there against the Colts, and then you're right back at it. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed yet, November 1st, November 5th, this is a Thursday night football game. They are right back in it 4 days later. They are a tired football team at this point, man. I am the last guy to defend Lamar Jackson at all. Secondly, in prime time, I'm not going to take Lamar Jackson. But at home, more rested. I think at this point, in ways, I think they need it more than Jacksonville probably need this one. When you look at the end of Jacksonville's schedule, there's still some light at the end of the tunnel here. So I do believe that Baltimore get this win. And I don't like it. It probably comes down to it. But if I had to say one of these two teams is going to kick the crap out of the other, if I had to pick pick one team to win by 10 or more, I'm going Baltimore before I'm going Jacksonville in this game. So for that reason, I think the 4-day rest is like the big thing for me. It's just that's just the decider here. So sadly, I think Lamar Jackson finds a way. But guys, we're right back in it here. This schedule's tough, and we are getting even deeper into it. We got the Jags at the Titans. Now, it is a 10-day little gap here. That's what they get, but they do go on the road. So it's about 7 days till they're traveling. And then here you are, Jags at Titans. Some people liking the Cam Ward train. Year 2 is going to be the year. They're coming. Watch out. Don't matter. I'll go fast as hell. This is a Jacksonville win. Are either of you going Tennessee here?
Jacksonville win.
Okay. Moving on through, folks. No reason to deep dive into that one. But then we got the Jags at the Giants. Jags at the Giants here November 22nd. So, just a casual little 7-day right back to normal break here. The Giants, a big question mark team as well. A lot of people thinking that this Giants team is going to be pretty solid. Everyone likes this Jackson Dart thing. We all know, Herbert's getting married, so his hopes of taking Madison Beer are gone. So maybe he's on demon time. I don't know.
Scadaboo's back.
Scadaboo's back. Once again, guys, we do these schedules as if everyone's healthy. So we're going to say that he is. So all that said, in New York, Greg, coming to you, man, do the Giants, I'm going to say pull off the upset here.
Odell Beckham Jr., baby. No, no. That's all I'm going to say. No, they don't pull off the upset. I don't need to say anything more. No.
Okay.
I don't want to waste any time.
I do like the Giants offense. I think they're fun, but I am giving this one to Jacksonville. I'm not a big fan of the Giants defense. I think when it comes down to it, they aren't going to be able to help the Giants offense win this one.
Still trying to get it
All
together
right.
is what I think.
Yeah.
I actually think this game could come down to it, and it shouldn't. This is one of those, like, when you're looking at the schedule and you're like, what's a parlay piece, or like, what's a team that shouldn't lose this week? Yeah, that's a win. That's a win. There's always like 2 teams a week that fuck it up every week, right? So every week it's somebody. This could be that week that it's Jacksonville, and we're all just like, bro, who they've played, what they've been through. Maybe coming off a good win against Tennessee, a couple tough losses before that. It should be a pretty easy spot here to circle and say it's a dub, but going to New York is a bit tough here. It is getting a little bit chilly out there, so maybe it plays a factor. We all know, everyone talks about how they don't have a run game anymore there in Jacksonville, so maybe they got to air it out. If it's cold, is it going to be a problem? I don't know. All that said, I'm going Jacksonville, but I'm just saying it could be a scary game if they're not careful. But then we got where are we going? Titans.
Tennessee again.
Jags. Okay, well, that's disgusting. 14 days. So, yeah, 2 weeks later, they play again. This one is in Jacksonville. Are we going with the sweep?
Jacksonville win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On to the next one. We got the the Jags at the Bears, December 6th.
Chicago Bears, baby.
Eastern. Oh, y'all think the Bears are just so.
No,
excuse my language,
I am not
so
saying that. I'm not talking like
good.
that. No,
They're not, bro. They're not, bro. They don't even have a top 10 quarterback. They don't have a top 12 quarterback. I don't know if they have a top 15 quarterback, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Look, the Bears are losing this football game, guys. Jacksonville's coming into this one. I think they're either on a 2-game heater or they're coming off a loss that they could not afford against the New York Giants. No matter how you cut the cake, they need this one. Arguably, the Bears need this one as well. But December 6th, I feel like in a quarterback battle, I want Trevor Lawrence. Defensively, I think it's a hell of a lot closer than people want to make it out to be. And coaching-wise, a lot of y'all want Ben Johnson. Give me that boy Liam Cohen and Duval. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take Jacksonville on the road here. Ken, you're a little higher on the Bears, bro. So go ahead and do your thing.
We've been at this before, gentlemen.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
I will say, I do think that Caleb Williams did show that he has some of that in him. I'm not going to say he's a top 10 QB. I do think that's a bit too much. But, I will give him credit where credit was due. He had his moments. With that being said, I see Jacksonville winning this one. I think that in a lot of ways, Bears also, they're pretty, I feel like their offense is like pretty balanced, but they are pretty run heavy as well, with DeAndre Swift. And I think that's going to be a huge issue for them in this one, given Jacksonville's defense. On top of that, there's potential that it could be cold that can make this game a little bit lower scoring. With that being said, I think that the way I see this one going, I think that it will be closer than a lot of people are saying, but I think Trevor Lawrence gets them into field goal range and is going to be a Cam Little game winner.
There's the boy Cam Little popping up again. Greg, where are we going?
I'm not high on Caleb Williams either. I'm really not, but they've done a damn good job beefing up that offensive line more to give him more protection. And even if you're a mediocre quarterback, a middle-of-the-road kind of guy, you've still got DeAndre Swift behind you. You still have a decent wide receiver core. You've got good tight ends. If that offensive line can stop the Jacksonville defense, and remember, they are missing their top linebacker, who 5 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery for Lloyd, only 1.5 sacks, but still, he's one of those coverage linebackers. That is what he was so great at doing. If they can do that, I don't think they're going to win. They're going to win it. I still think Jacksonville's going to take it. I was trying to lead you guys on there a little bit to think I was going to take Chicago in this, but I do think the weather's going to be huge. I was going to say, listen, if it's snowing, it's early December, if it's like -10 and a blizzard, I would give Chicago the edge. But I'm not going to rely on weather. I'm going to rely on the talent on the field. I just think Jacksonville's better offensively built. Again, I think it's going to be Hunter. He is going to be the key for them this entire season, is how is he going to play on which side of the ball, and are they going to finally just say, we're not going to make you a dual threat guy on both sides of the ball. I want you to play one side more than the other. If you're hot this game on this side, this is where you're at. If you're hot on the other, we'll stick you there. I think it's going to be Jacksonville taking this one.
I will say, we brought Cam Little. See, before we were talking Blake Group versus Cam Little, I will say Cairo Santos versus Cam Little. Different conversation. The Tulane kid can kick the football. All right, I'll give it to him. All right. But that said, look, deep down on paper, the Bears should win this game. They should be favored in this game. They should win this game. But this just feels like we're onto something here. But anyway, guys, this is a toss-up game. Obviously, we have mixed emotions here, but we will see what happens. But my boys are up to bat, man. We got the Steelers at the Jags.
Monday Night Football, baby.
Monday Night Football. If I ever go to Jacksonville, this is when I'm going. In December, get my ass out of Pittsburgh and go enjoy some Monday Night Football, and then somehow go find a casino when that's done and just spend the rest of the week in Jacksonville. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, a fun one here. Aaron Rodgers and the boys come to town. I'm going to say this is a big, big spot for both teams in the AFC. Kent, let's come to you first, my man. Who gets this one done in prime time?
I expect this to be a very exciting game from Trevor Lawrence. I think that he's going to need to be elusive in this game. I think that the Steelers have always done well at pressuring the quarterback. And I think that he's going to have a big opportunity here to escape the pocket, make big throws in big moments, and I think he's going to do just that. I'm going to take the Jaguars to extend the little winning streak I have them on right now. And this one, get a home win against the Steelers on Monday Night Football.
Greg, how we feeling?
Oh man. It's this one for me is a toss-up. Monday Night Football, huge game. I already had them winning. They had 5 in a row that they've won that I've had them rattle off. I don't think they're going to get to the 13-win season. I mean, I think I've already pushed them away from that. I think it's going to really not come down to Trevor Lawrence. It's going to come down to what kind of Aaron Rodgers are we going to see? How often is he connecting with DK Metcalf? How well can he play against the secondary of Jacksonville? I just don't know what man are we going to get behind center for Pittsburgh. I think because it's Monday Night Football, we're going to see the Monday Night Football Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to duel with Trevor Lawrence, and he's going to outduel, and he's say, hey, young man, you are not me, and I got the belt, baby. And that's going to be it. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers leading the Pittsburgh Steelers, shoving the ball down their throat, running, finding great plays, and making it happen, making magic. Last year, he is playing in the NFL. I got to take Rodgers with the magic on Monday Night Football like he's done so many times.
Thank you. Look.
Don't go against the man. Last year.
Come on, guys. What are we doing here? All you guys want to talk all this shit about Trevor Lawrence out there in the media, and then you guys want to take him to beat Aaron Rodgers. Did you hear what Tom Brady said? Yeah. Yep. All right, bro. Stop it. All right, look, this is going to be a damn good football game, but the question was brought up about DK Metcalf. We haven't done the Steelers show yet, so we haven't gotten too deep into this, but I think people are forgetting about the Michael Pittman thing. Again, I'll bring this up. You asked, will it help DK? Dude, this is going to make DK play like DK now because that threat is now there. Michael Pittman is going to take away all that pressure DK was seeing last year. People got so upset that Aaron and DK's connection a lot of the time wasn't there and it wasn't working and it wasn't. Well, bro, when you're the only guy, we see on every team we see this, bro. It's like ask the Bengals why they signed T. Higgins. Once you limit yourself to one good guy, that good guy becomes a lot less relevant because you can find ways to get rid of him. DK Metcalf, as a 30-something-year-old dude, he ain't going to just win the game by himself all the time. But you add Michael Pittman now. They have a great tight end room. I think this is a tough get-off-the-field spot for the Jags consistently. Aaron Rodgers is content with these shorter throws. He's content with moving the chains. And we got Arthur Smith's ass out of here. Good luck, Ohio State. So all that said, I feel like the Steelers here are the move. Trying not to be a homer. I'm just being real. I think offense for offense, I'd go Steelers. We don't know what the Mike McCarthy era is going to look like. We are literally
that's the biggest question.
Two days into it. But people like what they're seeing. They're doing no tackling at camp. Supposedly the vibes are high. Everyone's feeling good. Everyone's feeling angry. Everyone's feeling blue collar as they always have. So I don't know, man. I think at this point in the year, you're talking the end of the Aaron Rodgers era. This boy, I'm tired of hearing this shit. He's not missing the playoffs, y'all. So if it takes going on the road in prime time and beating Jacksonville, he'll do it if it's the playoff picture. So I'm going to go Steelers here in this one.
Look out for the secret weapons. The tight end room of Pittsburgh. Watch out for Frymouth. Watch out for Washington. Yeah. Our big boy Rodgers loves to do those little quick passes to them.
He does.
Watch out.
And just to counter myself, watch out for Brenton Strange. They're the tight end for Jacksonville because he also could be a big-time problem in this football game. So, I don't know, man. There's a lot of options here. This feels like 27-24, 31-24, no matter how you cut the cake. So, hey, we'll see
it's going to be back and forth, man. Entertaining as hell.
Entertaining as hell. I'm right there with you.
Absolutely.
But we're almost there, guys. We are almost through this thing. And then we got our futures bets for you, and we're rolling up out of here. So that's it. Jags at the Texans in the rematch, December 20th. Keep in mind the first one was overseas. This one is in Houston. They're trying to give CJ Stroud an easy one here. It's indoors. It's in December, 1 p.m. I gave the overseas one at the time to the Texans because I was trying to find a loss here, but I think they split this series no matter how you cut it. So I'm going with a win here for Jacksonville and a bounce back win after a tough loss to Pittsburgh, I think, in prime time. So, Kenton, where are you going?
With the Texans here, I have the Jaguars winning in week 6 in that London game. I think this is going to be a split series. As I said, I think these are the 2 best teams in this division. They're going to be going at it for that number 1 spot. This is where I think that the Texans will get theirs. It's going to be the same way that it was last year. Jacksonville wins the first one. Texans would take the second one. I mean, they're playing at Houston as well. The Texans defense is incredible. I think that's really where we see this going on this one.
Greg, quick question for you. If
yes, sir,
they do lose the first one there overseas and they do lose to Houston and they come here on the road, is this a must-win football game for Jacksonville, especially coming off a loss to Pittsburgh if it happens?
1,000% yes, because what's really crazy, if you really think about this, it's a away game. There's really no true home game, even though they do have a great following overseas in London. We know that. You already said. I mean, whenever I've watched games, you see all the jerseys. You hear the crowds much louder for Jacksonville. Even when they played Miami, it was nuts. It's nuts when you see it overseas. Like, you don't really realize how followed they are. I think they do get the win. I said it earlier. They're going to split it. They lose the first one overseas. They disappoint the crowd there, but they're going to come back and be like, all right, we're playing in Houston. You know what we're going to do? We don't need a loud crowd. We need to shut them up. That's what they're going to do. It's a must-win game because they need to win the division if they want any chance of trying to get a good opposition in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card. Hopefully they can get there because it's going to be damn competitive in the AFC, period. I think they get the win.
There you go, guys. Gonna be a tough one here, but 1-1 split basically feels like kind of where we are at the end of the day. Sweeping the series is going to be a tough one here. But you got the Jags at the Dallas Cowboys, primetime December 27th, 8:20 p.m. Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence. Look, this is about that time. Thanksgiving's over. We're all tired of watching these bums do what they do. The cheerleaders are doing the Christmas dances in the little red Santa outfits. No one cares about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, brother. Give me Jacksonville here in this one on the road. It's going to be a 1st to 40 type of game here, and I know that's what Dallas does in their own stadium, but I think 40 gets dropped on them. In this case, you won't see Dak Prescott playing in the fourth quarter of this one. Give me Jacksonville, and I think Trevor goes up 2-3 touchdowns early, and Dallas quits. So, Kenton, where are you going?
I am actually going to be taking the Cowboys in this one.
I'm not shocked, actually. I thought that was coming.
Look, here's the thing. Despite my doubts about Dak Prescott, I'm not going to say that he's exceptional as a quarterback, but he has great weapons. That offense was incredible last year, despite all the weaknesses in the defense that really, really held them back.
Yeah. But
I think this is one of those games where the Jaguars really are going to be missing ETN. You know, Bryce Tutin is not going to win them this game. I think that this is, and that's really like the biggest weakness when it comes to the Cowboys in their defense, I believe. And really, just comparing the two offenses, I think that, you know, it might be close, but I think that the Cowboys will slightly outscore Jacksonville in this one.
Greg, where are we going?
You heard my reaction. I just look, Dak Prescott walked into this preseason practices, he doesn't look like, let's go to the club. That's what I saw him walking in. I'm ready to go. I'm jacked up. I'm losing weight. I'm getting my body in shape. He's still Dak Prescott. He's still Dak freaking Prescott. I don't trust him as a quarterback. Okay, his weapons are great. How good is his offensive line? I don't think they're that great either. I mean, he was sacked 31 times, last season. He still threw 10 interceptions. He tried to run the ball at 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, great. I just don't trust him. I don't think their defense is really as great as people make them out to be. No, I just think, again, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, got to be the leader. Going to try to repeat what he did last year. I think they get the win, but I'm going to shock you guys in one of these last 2 games, but I got Jacksonville winning this because I can't stand Dak Prescott. The Cowboys can kiss my ass. I hate him. America's team. Ugh.
Tell us how you really feel, Greg.
God, they're so annoying. I'm Jerry Jones. I'm going to do the best thing I can to get the best players here, but we still suck.
Right.
Can't hold the ball. Right. Place kickers 40 yards out. Can't kick a field goal.
We all know America's teams. We all know America's team is Pittsburgh Steelers, right? So like it's okay at this point. Who travels the best? That should tell you everything you need to know. But anyway, we are moving on through, guys, to the Commanders, and we are in that crunch time spot here. You got 2 games to go. A lot of us at this point, I think, are pretty 50-50. We are talking you lose the last 2, you're not in the postseason. So we'll see what happens here. Commanders at the Jags, assuming that Jaden Daniels is good to go here. I'm talking about being concerned about a run game. I'm worried about the Washington Commanders, and they gave Chris Rodriguez to Jacksonville, and he goes that they lose that game. So give me Jacksonville to win this game here. I like Jaden. I think he could be a problem here, especially with his legs. But is he enough this late in the season, this banged up? I don't think he's enough to be like the whole reason that they lose this game here. So I'm going to go Jacksonville, and it's on the back of Chris Rodriguez. He gets his lick back, as they say in the streets. So, Greg, what are we doing?
I'm agreeing with you 100%. This is where I was going to shock you and say, you know what? I think Jaden Daniels can come out, and he's going to be the Jaden Daniels that we saw in his great first year. You know, he's going to come out. He's going to be knocking the socks off, connecting with his guys, finding just seeing the field the right way like an elite quarterback does, and he's going to show up and shock a lot of people. But I don't think so. I was going to say this is going to be a loss because I'm like, man, it just feels like one of those weird games. Jacksonville's at home. I know last year, I mean, I'll put it this way. Second game of the season last year, they played Cincinnati. They lost 31-27. Okay. It was one of those weird games where they just couldn't click offensively. Yes, Cincinnati got the better of it at the end of the game. I don't really see this one doing that. I think they take better control. They learn how to finish like they did last year at the end of the season. I'm taking Lawrence. I'm taking Jacksonville. Put them up. Let's end this season strong, guys, and get them in the playoffs.
All right. Kenton, my man, are we sweeping this thing?
I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars take this one. I think what we saw last season is, and I mean, I have said it before, this team is very different with Jaden Daniels than it is without. But I think that's exactly the problem. An over-reliance on a quarterback is going to be their downfall against a team like Jacksonville. I think that Jacksonville is going to outscore them in this game. And on top of that, they're going to be hungry. As you said, these last 2 games are going to be huge in their chances to make the playoffs. And I think that that's what they're going to show that at home against the Commanders in this game.
By the way, guys, a lot of people tapping in there on Instagram. We appreciate you guys, man. Follow us if you don't already. I know you guys are watching at Lizard Sports Bets, but please also follow us at Sports Forum CO because we'll be live on there as well during the football season. So make sure to get us there. YouTube channel, guys, the brand new one. Well, not brand new one, but we're back on it after the UFC decided to copyright us on some bullshit. So we're back on YouTube for you at the Sports Forum. Do us a favor, man. Hit that subscribe button, and also our shorts only YouTube and memes at Sports Forum CO as well, and Sports Forum CO on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere else you could find us. So we appreciate you guys, man. Hit that follow button. We're live for you every single day, and during the season, it gets even better. So all that said, gentlemen, we got one more here before we get into the over-under win total for the year, the futures bets. Will they be a AFC berth? Will they win the division, etc. here? You got the Colts one more time. I'll keep this simple. Ken, like I said it, brother, I read your article, my man, on sportsforummedia.com. Had to get the plug in there. And I'm just saying, I don't buy this Colts team, man. People, stop. But put Anthony Richardson in. Yeah, please do. You want to go in 17 and get the first pick? Put Anthony Richardson in. I'm tired of this show. I'm done with my take here. Kenton, what are you doing?
I mean, all I said in my article is that the Colts have the chance to make this very entertaining, given the fact that they played Jacksonville twice without Daniel Jones, and that could make them a very different team. But as I said earlier, week 8, the Colts offense does revolve around Jonathan Taylor. And I think we're going to see that once again in this game. I think that they're not going to have a problem shutting him down. And then on top of that, it's week 18. Again, huge implications for their ability to make the playoffs. They're going to be playing hungry. They're going to need this win. They're going to get this win.
Greg?
Like you said in your article, man, you said, I'll quote you. The Houston Texans, who were struggling with injuries last year, are likely to give Jacksonville problems. Agreed. This is the crazy part. I think they do win this game. They finished 12-5, but what's going to end up happening, they're going to have the same, not the same record. I think it's going to be flip-flopped in the standings. Jacksonville was 13-4 last year. Houston was 12-5. They flip-flop this year. They do finish strong. They got streaky, but they lost the games they should have won that were the big ones. I think they finished 12-5. They do win this. But I do think the Houston Texans get the better of them. They sneak in as a wild card, but they can be a tough one in the first round. Not a good matchup. I don't even think they make it past the wild card.
All right. Well, speaking of that, gentlemen, we got the futures here.
Yes.
Over under 8.5 wins to make the playoffs. They are plus money. They are plus 110 to make the playoffs, minus 130 not to, plus 245 to win the division, 15-1 to win the conference, and 30-1 to get that ring on their finger. So that said, gentlemen, go ahead and pipe through these really quickly. I'll go first. And also going to go with my favorite bet on the board here. I'm going to go over 8.5 wins. I'm actually shooketh that is the number. I thought 9.5 was going to be the spot there. 8.5 is crazy to me. I'm all over the over here. I do have them as a 10-win football team. I believe they have 11 in their bag here as well. But I think 10, I actually feel really good about it. 9 feels like free money. So over 8.5. To make the playoffs, yes, take the plus sign here. They are going 10-7 or better. To win the division, that's where it gets scary. My gut says Houston, but I don't like CJ Stroud. So give me yes to win the division here. Conference winner, no. Super Bowl winner, no. Kenton, what are you doing?
I'm going to take the over on the 8.5 wins here as well. I have them at 10-7 total. I do believe that they'll make the playoffs. Don't think they'll win the division. I think that will probably go to the Texans. That is my prediction. But with that being said, I don't see them making the conference championship. I think that they could make it past the wild card. I think that they could very well make it past the wild card. I think, especially after last year, the lessons that they learned making the playoffs for the first time in a while, I think that there's just a whole lot of improvement that can happen there. But I don't think they make it past the divisional. Overall, I do want to say, as I've said at the beginning of the show, I don't want people to think that I'm hating on Jacksonville in any way. I think there's just a lot of uncertainty here. I don't think that they're going to reach the exact heights in terms of their regular season record that they did last year. I think they'll get a little bit less, but they will still have plenty of opportunities to prove themselves.
By the way, I didn't mention that. That's a very good point there, Kenton. I know Greg mentioned the playoff thing. You just mentioned the wild card win. I agree. I think they do get a playoff win under their belt there. I don't know how deep they go. I don't think they go to the conference championship. I really don't think they make it out of the divisional either. Here's my bold take for you. I think that they draw Pittsburgh in the second round. Pittsburgh also gets a little playoff win there in the wild card round as well. So pipe down. But then they come to Pittsburgh there in January, and that just does not bode well there for Jacksonville. So that's actually my long-term picture here. But that said, Greg, your picks here, my man. Over
I'm going to try to knock these
division.
real quick because I know we're running out of time. So I'm just going to say over 8.5 wins. I already told you what I think their win total is going to be. I think they do make the playoffs, but I think they sneak in as the last wild card spot, get a pretty rough matchup. They don't get past the first round. One of the reasons why I said I think Houston's going to win the division, slightly better in terms of the strength of schedule being a little bit easier. So I'm going to have Houston getting the edge here. Like I said, flip-flopping their records from last season. I think they get in. They do not win the conference. They do not get to the Super Bowl. They make the wild card as the last team in, get a tough matchup. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm not going to say it yet because I just think the AFC is just going to be so unbelievably competitive this year and a lot of question marks because a lot of injuries last year. So that's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough. By the way, guys, my my little division pick there is less because I think that they're going to win, and it's more because it's plus 245, and I think it's a toss-up. So just so we're clear, I think putting like a minus sign by the Texans is ridiculous. So anyway, guys, we're
I
all
don't
on
trust
the over
CJ Stroud, but I
8.5.
just got to say the strength of schedule is what really kind of got my mind thinking.
Yeah.
Can they just get that one extra win, that one game that Jacksonville lost, but they're the ones that can turn the table on it and get that win from that one team that they lost against? That's to me the biggest things. That's that one single game. That's it.
Well, it feels like we're gonna know in like whatever that is, week 5 when they go overseas.
It'll be early.
I think the fact, Ken pointed it out, or you pointed out, the fact that they don't get a home game in that matchup
and the
is
Houston,
the fact that
Houston
they
away,
can't
Houston
lose
away.
that one. So if they lose that one early, and the Texans are already like 4-1 and they're 2-3, I mean, it's already over. Like GG plan. But if they win that one, who knows what could happen there. But guys, at the end of the day, over 8.5 is what we are doing the show for, and we are all on the over 8.5, and we're all on playoffs. So it might just be worth a look there. So good luck there. Sports Talk _Greg on Instagram. Kenton Heidemann at Kenton H Sports. Myself at Rick Sports Talk. Guys, we appreciate you. Tomorrow, we got the Ravens show for you. Seth Douglas, Ashley Priyanka in the building. You already know, 2 Steelers fans up against 1 Ravens fan. What could go wrong? It's going to be a great show. So come tap into that one, guys. Sports4media.com. Go check the article out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. We appreciate you. Peace.